What's up, y'all? I know I'm a little late. Sorry for my tardiness. Um, I just been out looking for somebody. I've been out looking for Deonte Banks because I'm confused. I'm trying to figure out if three played today. Did number three play today, or am I tripping? Like, I don't think he showed up at all. I really couldn't find him on the stat sheet. Matter of fact, my fault, my fault. He did play today. He did. Two touchdowns on his top, by the way. Um, Terry McLaurin's son, by the way. Okay. So he in fact played today. Um, Washington Commanders 7-2 on the season. Um, by far not our prettiest game. For me it was a little sluggish if I can be honest with you. Um, Offensively, we came out conservative in a sense. Came out like running the ball heavy, even though we had no B Rob. Um, it just felt a little bit weird today. However, we still won at the end of the day, so I can't really be too upset with how we performed. But for me, I wanted to throttle the Giants. I wanted to blow the Giants out for all the times that they've embarrassed us, all the times that we've lost them. I wanted to blow them out. And when we went up 21-7, got the ball coming out of halftime, I fully expected that. But we came out, got a three, and we gave them the ball back. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little bit upset because I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, I understand we're winning and stuff like that, and it's the Giants, so we don't really see them as a threat. But maybe I got a little bit spoiled with how good this offense was over the past weeks, prior to the last 2 weeks. That I always expect us to score every single time we touch the ball. That we supposed to put up 30 points every single time we touch the ball. Maybe that is a little bit of me being spoiled. But I was a little frustrated with today's offensive showing at times. I felt like Washington had opportunities out there, and we just simply missed them. I felt like there were the opportunities for Washington to take advantage of a piss poor Giants secondary, and we just didn't. We relied heavily on the run game today, which at times it was pretty solid, but for the most part, I feel like it showed to me that we do need more running backs outside of Brian Robinson. I do think we need a shifty back. I like Austin Eckler. I like Jeremy McNichols, and Chris Rodriguez came in pretty solid today. But I feel like we need another back. I don't know if we necessarily can address that at the deadline, but we in my opinion need another running back. Then offensively, we gotta get Luke McCaffrey the ball, man. I don't know what it is about Luke, but he's always open, and we just never get him the football. We gotta find ways to get Luke McCaffrey the football. But at the end of the day, we won the game, so it's but so much I could be upset about. But I know this team could be much better. Offensively in the red zone, we were 3 for 5 today, and those two empty possessions that led to field goals were gut punching because those were the two opportunities that we had to put the Giants away, and we just let them hang around. And honestly, in my opinion, it's going to bite us in the butt once we play these good teams. If we cannot capitalize in the red zone, if we cannot finish off drives with touchdowns, it's going to come back to haunt us at some point. Yeah, we can get away with it versus Chicago, barely. We can get away with it versus the Giants. We can get away with it versus the Carolina Panthers of the world, the Cleveland Browns of the world. But when we start playing Philly, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, all these other Buffalo, if we even make it to the Super Bowl, like, or something just crazy next year, even let's just say that, like, these teams come up, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, like these teams that we're gonna play up, that's gonna be much better than what we're playing right now. We gotta find ways to finish off these drives with 7, man, because it's very frustrating not being able to put up points, or at least more points, as much points as we should, in my opinion. So moving on to the opposite side of the field, the defense for me too was a little bit disappointed today. Especially the run defense. We were getting gashed by Tyron Tracy all day, and that kind of scares me because I definitely I definitely feel as though when we play teams like Philly, Saquon Barkley could have a day against us, man. That's just honesty. Because we cannot stop the run. At least it doesn't look like we can stop the run much at all. And Saquon Barkley could have a day against us. Run defense was a little shaky today. I know a lot of people want to be on Benjamin St. Juice's head and stuff like that, rightfully so. But there was one play That pass interference they called on him was not pass interference. That was just good defense, if you ask me, by Benjamin St. Jude. But they called it PI. And then BSJ made a good play on 4th and 2. Stopping Malik Neighbors. He came up, made the tackle, and Dan Quinn didn't challenge it. Well, first of all, the refs got they called a bad play, or made a bad judgment because that was clear as day, not a first down, and the refs just gave them the first down. It ultimately did not matter because they ended up getting 3 points, because they got a pass interference call on Darius Slayton, which in my opinion wasn't pass interference, but they made up for that call. But they got 3 points out of that drive. Shouldn't even have gotten that if we get the fourth down stop. But Dan Quinn does have to be better in that decision, in that position where he has to challenge. I know he probably doesn't challenge stuff himself only with his opinion. He gets, some thoughts from upstairs, but sometimes you got to take over and use your own head, especially in a position like that. Like, it's fourth down. If you lose the challenge, so what? At least you lost it knowing that you made an effort to challenge something. It's not like it's third down, you challenge it, lose the time, but they still got an opportunity to pick it up on fourth down. No, you challenge that right there, you win the challenge. That's change of possession. So I don't know, man. That's just a little bit of some issues I had today from the defense today. I felt like Jeremy Chin had a day today. He was on one. Quan Martin could have had a pick, but was wiped away by Mike Sanders. Still's flag. Like, Jeremy Chin, though, today was outstanding. I think played his best game as a commander, and I think people in the early on in the season was trying to say that that my Jeremy Chin was in a good fit, or that he was having a rough season, he wasn't good. Man, I think Washington's secondary, specifically the safety tandem, has been much better than what we expect. Kwamar and Jeremy Chan could be really good in the back end for the years to come. It's the cornerback position, if you ask me, that I feel um needs work, and I don't know if we necessarily can get that work at the deadline. I don't know if we get Marshawn Lattimore. I've been hearing that name. Jonathan Jones. I know we've been hearing that name, but we need to make some calls if possible to see what we can do for this cornerback room, because this cornerback room definitely needs help here in DC. Um, let's see what else. What else could I talk about here? Washington Commanders 7-2 for the first time since 1996. Jaden Daniels 209 passing yards for 2 touchdowns today. Not his best day, but he still didn't play terrible. I just know he had 2 missed throws in the middle of the field where I was just kind of like, JD, what the heck was that? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I became spoiled, but it's like anytime JD doesn't make a completion, the other side of that pass isn't a completion, I'd be so in utterly disbelief. Like, no way Jaden Daniels just threw an incompletion. No way Jaden Daniels did not just throw a touchdown. Like, I don't know. I just be in such disbelief that it happened. JD had a beautiful ball to Terry McLaurin right before the half. That pass was absolutely gorgeous. But before we can even talk about that touchdown pass, how about the play before with De'Ami Brown making a reception and turning into something great? Everyone always loves to talk trash about De'Ami, right? I wasn't the biggest De'Ami fan because I always said we give him chance after chance after chance, and he really doesn't do nothing with his opportunities, but he has to have the opportunities, and he made much of his opportunity today. It was one catch, but it was a huge catch, because if we settle for 3 right there, one, we don't know if Austin Cyber's going to make it, and two, that 3 at going into the locker room at 17-7 versus 21-7 is a huge different feeling for the opposing team, especially when we get the ball coming out of halftime. So that play was huge by De'Ami Brown. And Terry McLaurin play later, just beautiful ball, beautiful catch. It's just amazing, man. I'm so happy that we have a quarterback. I'm so happy for Terry McLaurin. So happy for everybody, man, involved in this operation. For me, um, I feel like Cliff Kingsbury had a okay day. I still would like to see him be a little bit less predictable with these run plays at times, especially in the red zone. Because in the red zone, we need to score touchdowns. Like I said before, we cannot settle for 3, and this is now becoming a problem. It seems like week in and week out, we struggle in the red zone, and Pittsburgh is a defense that's not going to give it up easily. So we're gonna have to figure this thing out before again we run into these juggernaut teams in the NFC and potentially the AFC if we go to the Super Bowl. Um, for Darian Mathis, he got a little shaken up today, but he came back in. He was solid today. Frankie Louvu was really good today too. Dante Fowler, another big day. He had a fumble. that Phil Mathis could have caught, but he dropped it. And then the Giants they whistled the play dead and originally called it an incomplete pass, but after further review, Dante Fowler forced the fumble. He's been a sensation of a pickup this season, and he's been really good. The Washington Commanders now have a big day with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a 6-2 Pittsburgh Steelers team that is different under Russell Wilson. If I may add, like they're still not an offensive juggernaut, but at least they have opportunities to move the ball and actually score points with Russell Wilson under him. So we're gonna have a big task against them. We were 11 for 11 on fourth downs this season, 2 for 2 today. So that's another good sign for Washington that on fourth down, which seems to pretty much be automatic. Austin Eckler had an okay day. Tyrone Tracy ran all over this defense in the first part of the first half of the season. Frankie Louvu, he did have a jump off sides play where it was like, come on, Louvu, that's not like you, but it is what it is. Terry McLaurin, both of his touchdowns went against Deonte Johnson. Oh, excuse me, Deonte Banks. Daniel Jones, he wasn't half bad today. He still was bad, but he wasn't half bad today. And it just seems like anytime he plays Washington, he always somehow, show up in some kind of capacity. This game is 27-22. Once again, another game where it doesn't show you the real possible outcome of this game. We should have won this game by much more. Had many opportunities to, but again, we have to clean up a lot, especially when we start playing these good teams. Jaden Daniels 15 for 22, 209, 2 touchdowns. Chris Rodriguez 11 carries, 52 yards. Noah Brown was really good today. Jaden Daniels made this catch where he threw to the far sideline, and Noah Brown made the catch. It was just some beautiful football thrown by Jaden Daniels today that was just like, man, even on a day where he's not necessarily lighting it up per se, he didn't have a bad day. He just wasn't like, I don't know, we're just getting spoiled. I'm just getting used to having 30, 40 points potentially, and he didn't have one of those eight. Still had 15 for 22 for 2 touchdowns, 8 rushes for 35 yards, still pretty solid, but wasn't necessarily something that was crazy. Then right before the 2-minute warning, he found Lamade Zaccheaus backside in the fourth quarter that pretty much put the bow on the victory. So I don't know, man. It was very interesting game to say the least. Like it was pretty sluggish for me. It was pretty like, I don't know if it's because the Giants pretty much waved the white flag from the beginning, but it was just like, I don't know, the whole time it was just kind of like we were on cruise control because we knew the Giants weren't much of anything, if you ask me. But hey, man, I ain't never gonna complain about a win. Trade deadline coming up. Could Benjamin St. Juste be on the move? Could so many other players be on the move? Or could we be looking to add to this roster? I think we're in a position to do so. We'll talk more about this game and deep talks throughout the week. But make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. As always, be a boy Juan Gotti. Don't forget to use my promo code Juan Gotti on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first purchase. And one more thing. Did 3 play today? I'm just curious. Did number 3 for the New York Giants play today? I couldn't find him out there. Oh, wait. I could. 2 touchdowns on your head top. Terry McLaurin. Like, comment, subscribe. Watch the command. See y'all later. Bye.